all yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. David Tatar for MMFN, and today with me, the rising star of boxing, Garryn Huggins. Hi, Garryn. Thanks for joining us today. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Living the dream. It's nearly weekend now, so yeah, all the reasons to be happy. So, Garryn, basically, the idea for today is to introduce yourself to MMFN friends and family and whoever will be watching the transmission going forward. You're a boxer, so I would definitely like to find out some bits and bobs about your boxing career so far. Let's start straight away. Uh, I know you're a boxer. You had two fights so far. So tell me, in just briefly, what made you start boxing? Is there anything that led you into boxing, or like what's the story behind it?
Well, my dad was boxing in the army
Okay.
when he was younger for the Royal Welsh and became British champion. And my dad's been my biggest inspiration in my life. So, really, I just wanted to follow in his footsteps, and it took me a while because we didn't really get along. I was in teenage years. You just attract, don't you? And opposites attract. So then after, when I grew up a bit, matured a bit, I decided that I do want to get into it, so he helped me get into it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, love it. There is definitely some family legacy on your shoulders. That's amazing. So, well, I need to ask at this stage. So, are you going to be the next British champion as well?
Fingers crossed. After this one, after this one in November, maybe one more before the end of the year, which could be a title fight if all goes well.
Okay, I know it's November 16th, so we still have almost a month left. So tell me, Garryn, how are you in the training camp at the moment? How your preparations are looking like, given that we have a bit less than a month left till the big fight?
Yeah, good. Yeah, just everything's going amazing at the moment.
Hmm.
Training every day, waking up early, getting the extra one in, and then
Okay.
just coming to take over, really.
No, that's great. That's consistency is the key. I spoke to many boxers, I spoke to many martial artists, and you can't really achieve your goals if you're not consistent in what you're doing. Like at the end of the day, any martial arts, and I think boxing in particular, is all about discipline.
Yeah.
So I need to ask that because that's something that many people is struggling with when it comes to the world of professional sport. Basically, how are you going on with keeping the diet?
Diet. Well, I'm a light everywhere anyway, so it's a bit of an easier diet than what some people have. I can have the odd takeaway, and I can have the odd bigger meal than what I'd normally have because I am at that weight. Because
Hmm.
my natural weight is 79 to 81 kg,
Okay.
so I don't really leave my natural weight, which I should do because a lot of people do like the weight cut, but I'm comfortable at my own weight.
That's good. I mean, the weight cuts, they always take a little bit of power, especially when you start cutting the weight pretty close to the fight. So, no, that definitely works to your advantage. So, how are you feeling? Like, it's going to be the third fight so far. Is that right?
Yeah, so I can't wait really. I'm just ready to put some fights on. Hopefully, two stoppages.
Okay. Yeah. Well, fingers crossed, mate. I'm really confident about you reaching this goal. One question I always like to ask boxers because obviously, boxing is one of the main martial arts. Basically, boxing is one of the most popular, especially in the UK, I believe. But do you have any interest in other martial arts as well? Would you ever consider trying perhaps K1 kickboxing, some MMA?
MMA I've always looked into just because of how violent it is. Um, Obviously you can ground and pound, you can kick, you can like do everything. I don't think it's for me because I'm not flexible and I'm not. I've not done all that. But maybe I think I do want. My girlfriend will hate me for this, but I do want to dabble into the bare knuckle eventually.
Okay. Well, we have quite a few friends doing bare knuckle boxing, and I need to say this is absolutely savage. I think
Oh, it's the
one of the
best. It's the
most
best.
violent federation doing bare knuckle boxing is actually based in Poland, called Gromda.
Oh
And
yeah, Grumda, my mate's fighting that.
oh, really? Who's that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you've got a few people that fight over there. There's Liam White,
Yeah.
who had that head kick,
Oh, English Wilf,
that
is it?
famous head kick.
Yes.
And
Oh,
but yeah, there's a few people that I know going over there.
yeah. I mean, Gromda is brutal. It's a very, very brutal verification for people, even coming from a bit more violent backgrounds. There were several fighters coming from King of the Streets, for example, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
quite a few of them couldn't make it past the first round. So, yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you would need to put on some weight before going Gromda, but no, that's definitely a way forward. But let's focus on your current boxing career so far, Garryn. Could you tell me a little bit about your gym?
Yeah, so I'm just out of a small gym in Darlington, which is it's I'm the only pro in the gym. The other lads are amateurs,
Hmm.
but really, for me, what pushes me is having having the other lads looking up to you in the gym. So I've got like quite a lot of young lads who have got difficult times at home, or maybe like they've not had the best start in life, and like maybe me and Pete can push them and help them towards getting better and better.
Hmm. Yeah, no.
But yeah, we just want to keep pushing all the younger lot, so because the generations just it seems to be getting worse and worse, and if
Hmm.
there's 2 people that can help 10 people out in the world, then you're doing something right in your life, aren't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if you want to change the world, you need to start small. You need to start from a closest environment.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I absolutely love the approach, especially that, again, we spoke to a lot of boxers so far, a lot of people from the martial arts world. And I would say 95% of them said that it was the sport that helped them to cope, help them to get away from the daily struggles, maybe the kind of background they were coming from. You can't really choose your surroundings when you're in the young age. So it's amazing that you and Peter putting the work into making the world a little bit better. I love it. But as you've
yeah.
mentioned, Pete, he was supposed to join us today, but sadly he couldn't do it. Could you tell me a little bit about him? I know he's your coach. Like you said, you work alongside. But yeah, what can you tell me about Pete?
Pete, oh well, I only met him a year ago. I'd say nearly now. Um, and then we just clicked. Like we're both ex-military, and we just get along. And like Pete is just one of them people that more people like him need to be in the world,
Hmm.
because he's just that bubble of fresh air. And every time you're in the room with him, you feel a lot better about yourself. And he's training hard. Like everything he's doing is just an inspiration towards everyone who is the bigger people in the world, which might not be the best way to put it, but who are trying to reach their goals and stuff like that. But yeah, he's going to put on a show on 16th, and we're with him every step of the way.
Well, I'm pretty sure you both will put a big show that day. So yeah, really looking forward to that. But no, sounds like Pete is definitely the right person in the right place, doing the right things, which is always great because
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I think in every sports person life is the coach. That's one of the most important people. Someone that needs to get to know you, to know how you operate, to know how to push you forward, because you can't. No stranger can do it. They need to know you a bit more personally to be able to to find your weak spots and know which areas of your boxing in this instance to focus on. So no, that's absolutely great. Like I said, it's a pity that he couldn't join us today, but hi to Pete, and we hope you're doing well, mate. Speaking about the 16th, what can you tell me about your opponent?
well, obviously we're in the Pride Fighter tournament. So there's 4 of us. We've got me, Adam, um, and then we've got trying to think what else is in it now. There's Marty, and is it Mafra? I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure on the pronunciation.
It's okay. No worries, Bob. Yeah, we are hoping for the next one in front of, well, the next win on your record. So no, that's definitely something we're both with Mirek looking forward. You can't see him now, but I can promise he's here. So you said it's a tournament. Did you ever fought in a tournament before, or was it always one-to-one kind of fights?
So I've never fought in a tournament before. There's been, obviously, I'm just a young lad from the unlicensed scene, so there's up north, there's tournaments left, right, and centre. I never jumped into them because it wasn't my thing. I just wanted, but now it's kind of like I'm 21. Like this is what I want to do. So it's kind of now or never moment for me, and I think I need to. I think if I don't go down and win, then it closes a lot of doors for me. I do go down and win, it opens a lot of doors for me. So it's the biggest, probably one of the biggest fights I've been in.
Okay. Do you feel ready for so many fights in one go?
Yeah, that's one thing about me. I don't see everyone's like, yeah, boxing. Like everyone's done boxing for years. The people who have done it since they were kids and that, and they've learned the art of it. And I haven't done it for as long as that, but what got me started wasn't I didn't like boxing at first. I just like fighting. So it was more whoever's in front of me, it's you or me, and that's what it still is now. So on the 16th, whoever is in front of me, that it's me or you coming out the ring. So.
And that's the right approach, and that definitely one step closer to being ready for Gromdomate. I can see the World Boxing League has joined. Hello. Thanks for joining us today. Garryn, you did mention that you're ex-military, and so is Pete. Obviously, military is a very specific environment when it comes to following the rules, following the orders. How do you think the military environment is affecting your approach to boxing?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I didn't really look into all of it and stuff like that. Obviously, my dad was in the army; he was away for months at a time, so it was just me and my mum, really, me and my mum and my sister. And so it was hard on my mum. She's an angel, the best person in the world. I couldn't actually ask for anyone better. But she got us through it all, and then just I didn't really know what the military was, so. Obviously, I was a naughty boy at school, got kicked out in year 9. And then I started working and I was getting up to no good, going out, touching drugs, touching drink. And basically, I just had a reset with my family, my dad, and he said, you have to go in. He said, that is your only option. I had no other option. So I went in and came out the better side, really.
I was about to ask, is like going to army the decision you're kind of second guessing, or I don't want to say regret, obviously, but
Yeah.
how do you feel about the time you spend in the army?
See, for me, that was my way out. And once I got out, it was easier to actually like stay out.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I did come back home, I was already out, so I could stay out. But if I did,
Okay.
like, I always say it's a regret I shouldn't have went in. But looking back at it now, even if I just done just the training, I think that would have changed my outlook on life.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. That definitely makes sense. So thank you for that, Garryn. Let's took the army on the side. Obviously, that's not the most important part. Let's focus a little bit more on boxing. Obviously, it's important to have a kind of a role models in life. You said that Pete is the person that helps you in becoming a better person, better fighter. But if you were about to name me the most influential boxer, someone that you're looking up into in terms of a sports person, who would that be?
I don't know. I've always been a massive fan of Tyson Fury, just
Mm-hmm.
because of the stuff he's overcome in life, and just how he had mental health problems, and he always managed to come back. And I just think if he can do it and still become world champion, then who else can? Or it just some people, it's little goals. So it might be if you've got mental health problems and you struggle going shopping, like a big shop, that's and you go do a big shop, that's still an achievement. That's a goal. So
Definitely.
probably I'd say Tyson Fury, and then people that I do like it, I like Tank Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay, that's
that's me really. I do watch it a lot. Joshua, obviously this weekend versus Dubois. I'd like to see Dubois do it, to be honest, because I know he's young, he's hungry, but I think AJ will do it.
okay. Well, that's one of the fights I would have a really hard time betting on, so I'm just
Yeah.
refraining from doing so. But as you mentioned, Dubois already. What do you think about the Dubois Usyk fight?
I think well, there's obviously a lot of controversy from it. I think I don't know, because there's always two sides to it, isn't there? Like Usyk, he said he felt something, and from some angles you can kind of see it, but then you don't know what you see on TV nowadays. It can be edited, like you can see the king bloody playing football with David Beckham or something, and you think that's not true.
Yeah.
But it's all edited and that, isn't it? So you don't really know what to believe. But I do think it was a fair, clean shot, and it was right on the money.
Okay, I mean, you definitely know more about boxing than I know myself, so that's a very respectable opinion. But let's stick to Usyk for now. Obviously, you did mention Tyson Fury a while back. We all know how the last Fury Usyk fight went, but they're about to face each other again in December. Like, what's your prediction for this fight?
Oh, I think he learnt a lesson, Fury, and I think he they're at the end of the day they might hate each other, but they are very, very, very good friends deep down. You can tell they are, like how they all have that bit of banter, and I think he learnt a lesson, and I think he maybe took it a bit too lightly.
Might be, and I think that the fight with Francis Ngannou definitely didn't do any favors to him, as well.
No,
That's
I think he should have had maybe a 2 on his record instead of just the 1, because I think he lost that one as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. That was my impression, which was a massive surprise. I mean,
Yeah,
Francis was a great UFC fighter, but to see him going into boxing world, which is highly limiting, all the repertoire of the tools he was using in UFC, was interesting to see, and he definitely delivered. So that was a very, very interesting fight to watch.
yeah.
I need to ask Garryn, had you heard about something called freak fights?
I don't think so. No, I haven't.
Yeah, well, basically, it's becoming really, really popular in Poland at the moment. I know there was a freak fight happening in the UK as well not so long ago with Eddie Hall fighting two twin brothers, the little
Oh
guys.
yes, I have heard of that. I have heard of that. Is it a
Have
bit
you
like
seen the
that?
fight?
Have you seen that medieval one as well?
Oh yes, that was actually in Poland. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
quite a few years ago, which is quite controversial itself. But I think it was something different. I think that's why the freak fights were invented in the first place. But how
I
do you
think
feel about that?
I'm all up for them, man. I think if you're entertaining people and people are training for it, I think some of them I do think like when the celebrities do jump in, I do think well they were just in it for the money and like the fame.
Mhm.
But then I think some of them, like, who are training hard and are just there to entertain people, I think, well, if footballers, cricketers, baseball, basketball people can do it, then if someone else is interested in something, then why can't they do something to entertain other people?
Hmm. I mean, it's a very controversial topic in Poland because people are very opinionated. Some of them are saying, "Oh, it's only they're going for the money. They just want a bit more publicity and fame." But me personally, I'm thinking usually in freak fights you have people with quite a big audience, having quite a lot of followers, quite a lot of people watching them on a regular basis, and they can actually influence those very often young people. Bring them a bit closer to sport because there is no point in going into a fight if you're not prepared enough. You can't do just the money run
Yeah.
and get beaten in the ring in the first round because that doesn't do you any favor apart from your bank account getting a little bit bigger. But yeah, no, I definitely agree on that. If the sport can be promoted and change somebody's life, that's a very good thing to happen. I can see Mirek posted on the chat, and now, speaking about the freak fights and the boxers as well, your thoughts on Jake Paul?
Jake Paul. Well, I think he's a bit of a clown, a bit of an idiot, but it seems to me like he has put a bit more than what I thought of his life into
Hmm.
it. So if he can do it, then well, I hope he does. Hope he does well. And really, he's just you can do anything when you put your mind to it.
100%. 100%. I was very surprised to see his. I think it was his last fight with Mike Perry from BKFC. That was the outcome I definitely
Oh
didn't expect to
yes,
happen. But at the same time, when you see Jake
no,
fighting a proper trained boxer, like even Tommy Fury, for example, you could tell the difference with one guy doing boxing all his life. Even with all due respect to Tommy, he's quite an average boxer in my opinion. Even if you look at his
yeah,
record,
very average.
he's quite far from what his brother has achieved. But still, the difference in movements, the difference in the technique, it was just humongous. I would say so. So I was actually rooting for Tom in this fight because I wanted to see the proof that the real sport always wins. So I was quite pleased
Yeah.
with the outcome. And again, talking about Jake Paul, we touched on the freak fights. What are your thoughts on the trash talk, which is quite of an element when it comes to martial arts, especially in this more media exposed world? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so I'm all for the rubbish talking. You're selling fights, aren't you? And if you're not selling fights, then promoters don't want you on the show. Which at the end of the day, it's a harsh world out there. And but that's what it's like. If you're having a fight and you're selling 2,000 tickets, you're going to be wanted more than the person who's he might be better than you, but he's only selling 100 tickets.
Hmm.
But if you're both winning and promoters say which one do you want, the promoter's going to go, oh, actually, he was funny in the press conferences. He sold the fight. He was putting stuff online. We want to have him come back. Everyone seems to like him, which I think that's what the world's coming about now. It's like the people, which is a horrible way to say it, but nice people do finish last.
Well, that's true. I mean, it's difficult to sell a typical sports fight, focus on pure sportsmanship to people who are not involved in sports at all. Like people need some kind of emotions, and I think, like you said, trash talking is this factor that kind of drags them in. You can see two guys, mouthing each other, so you want to see how it's going to end up in the ring. So yeah, that's quite important because at the end of the day, you can be the best sports person in the world in whatever discipline you do it. But if you're not attracting enough attention, if you're not bringing enough people, if you're not selling the tickets, it's really hard to be successful. Like that's a bit of a sad truth about the sports nowadays. But it's all about money at the end of the day. And if you want to put
Yeah.
all your heart into it and make it your main source of income, there is this, I don't want to say acting, but this kind of publicity part in it that you need to focus on, that what kind of makes you complete as a sports person. It's having this charisma in attracting people into, and yeah, just make sure that the manufacturer is also taken into consideration. I have a question from my dear friend Mirek. uh, Morty, so you fought with him. According to what
Yeah.
Mirek said, he will be fighting in the tournament. Uh, as well. Is there anything you want to tell about him or to him, perhaps?
Yeah, well, Marty, he's a gentleman. No, not really got a bad word to say about him, to be honest. The guy, he puts on a show. He comes to win, and I'm sure he's going to come to win on the 16th of November. But if he comes up against me in the tournament, well, I don't know if he's been put away yet, because he's a hard man to put away, because he's just so relentless. So if I do come up against him, I'd like to be the first to put him away. So that's what I'm going to try and do on the 16th.
That's the right attitude. That's definitely the champion's mentality, mate. Appreciate it. Are you going to do your best to finish him before the timer comes out?
Yeah. There's a few people I want to... This tournament is just ticking boxes off for me at the moment, because there's people I want to fight. I think everyone knows the man who everyone else wants to see, and which I'm guessing will probably be in the final, which is me and Adam. I think there's a lot of talk around that fight. So he's obviously the same weight, same. He lost on his last one. He was unlucky, so I heard. Close fight, but yeah, that's the fight that interests me.
Okay. You're really selling the event to me, mate. So definitely doing a good job here. Yeah, obviously we're gonna have people watching this interview. We have people watching it live now. Is there anything you would like to address to just anybody who's watching us at the moment, mate? Oops. Yeah, it looks like we have a connection issues, so yeah, I think we need to. Oh, hello.
Hello, Eva.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah. So everyone just come down on the 16th, really. You won't be disappointed. We've got 2 Pride fighters, WBA Osina title defense for Elle. So hope she obviously smashes that, because that'll be good for her. And then Chris, he's putting on another amazing show. And hopefully I can have one more if all goes well this one. Because I want one more. I can see there's been events added to your call, which me and Gian have been texting to hopefully try and get me on that, really. But yeah, who doesn't want to fight in the home of boxing?
Definitely. No, that's great. I mean, well, Garryn, we are coming to half an hour. I know you're a busy man, so I won't keep you on any longer. I really appreciate your time today. And yeah, I mean, all the best on the 16th. And if there is anything else you want to tell to anyone, that's your time.
Yeah, just to you, Merck, thank you very much for the interview. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you, everyone. Hope to see you all on the 16th of November.
Thanks a lot, Garryn. We'll be keeping fingers crossed. Who knows? Maybe we'll even see you there. All the best, mate.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.